Afrox reported an increase in interim headline earnings per share of 4.4% to around 55 cents. Revenue was up by 9% to 2.8 billion rand. The company says it's focused on effective cost management, improving plant reliability and raising customer service levels. This was all part of a turnaround strategy during the 2012 financial year. Afrox's share price closed flat today at 19 Rand. For more, the group's managing director, Brett Kimber, joins us in studio. Hi, Brett. Welcome. So you talk about this turnaround theme, and I think it's such a common theme and phrase in the South African industry. Was it painful?
It has been painful. Obviously, the financial crisis required tightening of the belt. There was some underinvestment, so we've gone through that hardship and now focusing going forward on the growth side. So we want to move beyond the turnaround.
You're talking about growth. CapEx up, I think, 44%, so significant plans that you have. Interesting, you also talk about exciting opportunities in Africa. Is that where the growth is? It's
not only within Africa, it's also within South Africa. So we did a strategic review, and we've realized on the back of getting our basics right, there are opportunities where we've been constraining some of the markets in South Africa. So we're going to fix that with significant investment over the next few years. But there's significant opportunities Africa north of here, and we've got a strong platform to bounce off.
Steve?
Yeah. Well, what would you say the general drivers are? Is it just general GDP growth or mining? Or
in South Africa, it's
for Afrox, yeah, for your company.
For locally here, there would be the general GDP, but there's certain segments which we expect to bounce back, manufacturing being one of them, which has been very flat. But in Africa, it's really around the commodities, oil and gas, and the mining side.
Right.
Chris?
For the main thing, and I also imagine hospital services as well.
Correct. Yes.
That's quite strong. In terms of that, what's the biggest challenge in actually going into Africa? Is it the supply chain, or is it underdeveloped markets, or what is the problem?
So, yeah. In most of the countries in Africa where the high growth is high, we already have a yes. business. Supporting the growth, you've got supply chain issues when the markets are fairly small and you're supporting the sort of commodity customers. But now with the oil and gas, you have these major particular investments, and it's bridging that gap between significant investments versus small investments. So it's the supply chain, but also understanding the market potential.
Because at the moment, in terms of oil and gas, there's both East and West Africa that's suddenly starting to flourish.
Yes.
And that must be an exciting opportunity, both, and I think even Malawi and Tanzania are talking about that, and Kenya's finding stuff. Uganda's already there, and you've got on the other side, you've got Angola, Ghana, and Nigeria struggling a little bit.
Right. But Nigeria, for example, we've been there for 60 years, but it's a small CO2-focused business. We know how to leverage the gas. But Angola, Mozambique, Tanzania, Nigeria, we are present as well.
Based on, sorry, Steve, based on the question that Chris has asked you about Africa and the challenges, how long will it take you before you see significant ramp-up? Is it 5 years? Is it longer?
We've already made an investment this year in Nigeria, and we are looking at the particular investment plans in each of the other countries. So we've already started off our strong platform, and we're just going to identify where to make strategic investments which will grow our platform, but then also follow customers and their expansions.
So South African customers going north?
No, it's global customers.
Steve?
So where would you say you are relative to your competition in Africa?
In Africa, in the old Commonwealth countries, we are in a significant strong position. In the Franco countries, we're in a weaker position, but we do have that strong platform which we've had for many, many years. Thanks to strong support out of the British side, have invested over the last 50, 60 years.
Will the South African expansion be more through the South African operations? In other words, that be the platform, or will it be also driven through other subsidiary or other operations like the British one?
Yeah, all countries south of Sub-Sahara are managed out of South Africa, owned or managed out of here, so we'll be doing all that. We will leverage Lindy Engineering from the equipment side and our global sort of the tonnage business development people who are working with the global customers. So we'll leverage the group's capabilities to maximize the opportunities.
And Brett, in the local market, we often speak to manufacturers. Chris, I think you recently were part of such a conversation, and they're always bleating on about, the volatile currency being issued, utility costs, labour, etc. What are you finding? What's tough for you here?
Well, we align with customers, and so if customers are having tough times in those segments, we struggle too. So we fortunately have such a diverse customer base that when some are down, some are up. So some are importing, some are exporting. So we get that balance from that particular side, and we've got a broad range of products as well that we're selling.
And on the outlook, what's your view? You seem to be, I saw your language, that you are optimistic on what lies ahead.
Yeah, so we're optimistic that we've fixed the fundamentals of the business. We've got the basics right. Now it's actually to leverage the opportunities and close the gaps. We've identified gaps in our capabilities, so the investments to close those gaps as well as to position ourselves for the growth is the key areas.
$1 million question, are you going to import the right amount of gas bottles for next year's winter?
Well, you saw we corrected that for this year. We even imported LPG and put it in storage just in case we didn't need it this year.
Thank you for doing that.
But it's very important. When I was here 6 months ago, we said we would cover this winter, and fortunately it was successful.